Okay, wow. That was fast once again. Alright, hello and welcome. This is not exactly right to start Magic the Gathering Arena. Hopefully all you guys are doing well. It's a bit behind the scenes. If you're seeing that thumbnail with the glowing question mark, I'm going to show you how I would have been making the thumbnail anyways. I thought, I wanted to try this for quite some time. And yes, 5 ways. Hopefully all is well. So tonight is all about Night of the Stampede right here. Dinosaur spells you cast cost 2 less to cast, just increasing that reduction. Marauding Raptor, Otepec Huntmaster, reducing the cost of dinos, and marauding is all creatures, but just jamming it even more to help facilitate playing those bigger things that I still get to quite often enough. But certainly a Night of the Stampede could live a little bit longer than the 2 drops for sure. Dr. Gazooks, hopefully all is well. Yes, a little bit behind the scenes tonight. I typed in Google simply Night of the Stampede art MTG. Look for the highest resolution one. I didn't even know the art was more than it was. There's other ones there, which is quite fantastic. Seeing it extended there. Steak and ice cream. Oh, that sounds fantastic. Yes. Definitely happy to have you. But this is going to be good. My preferred program is a browser-based one. Pixlr. You can use any of them. The process is basically the same. I leave my logo here that I've been using for the past little while. I think it's pretty fantastic. But let's get this question mark out of the way. Oh no, what are we going to do? We're going to start by adding that base image of Night of the Stampede as I usually do. Oh, well, it's looking pretty good, but it's going to be... Oh man, yeah. Now I'm starting to think about that ice cream. I'm not too big of a sweet tooth fan. Oh, no. It's a little bit messed up. Sometimes whenever I add a picture, the transform, the aspect is not locked, so it kind of stretches it and makes it look funny. So I just have to go back to how it was, exit out of this, re-click onto the image and go to transform and make sure I lock the aspect so it doesn't get all funny looking. I'll probably center maybe around, well, I've got to show the actual knight that's on the dinosaur. Now the question becomes, would I put my logo kind of behind some of the spikes on the dinosaur, or would it look good flipped? I always like to see that. Maybe not. Sometimes I rotate it just if the art isn't quite working and just to fit a little bit more into the image. Now it looks like he's kind of riding it. He's leaning backwards as, well, the dinosaurs are stampeding potentially. Oh, yeah, steak is good, ice cream is good. Oh, that is pretty nice. Okay, let's see. How might it fit? I'm kind of liking that. Just a little bit more interesting with the angle of the dinosaur. Although it kind of looks sort of wonky. It's on a little bit too much of an angle. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense with the water flowing right there and the dinosaur standing like that. So probably, I may not show it. So, chances are it could not matter. I'd just leave it like this. But if I had it like that, it would just, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. So I can probably just hide the feet, I would think. I'm kind of liking this. I can tuck my logo just a little bit behind the dinosaur's head and kind of make the image pop. Whatever it is, if there's a feather on a dino, the raptor hatchling one, where I kind of put my logo behind its head feathers, its headdress, whatever you want to call it, just to make it feel a little bit more alive, sort of 3D in a sense. Zoom out, I could see that. Yeah, I want to certainly keep the knight's headdress there. Kind of framing the head of the dinosaur. I could cut it off, certainly, but I don't think that has a nice feel. I want a little bit of a contrast right around the dinosaur's head, but also still keeping with the knight. So I think a little bit smaller. And there's the edge right here just because I've rotated it. I don't want to have that as well. Well, that's looking pretty good. It's kind of like the knight is looking at my logo, which is pretty interesting. Maybe a little bit more, a little bit smaller. It's looking pretty good. A little bit below its head on the bottom. Oh, actually, I kind of like the feeling of those spikes that are on the left side. Might be your guy's right side. Of the other dinosaur there. The one at the bottom. Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah. I think slightly smaller. Rotated a wee bit. Yeah, that's looking good. And now, to make the image pop, this is one of my favorite parts. Oh, I just go to adjust all the colors, the light, the saturation, vibrance. This is where things get really interesting, I must say. It's definitely one of my favorite parts. This is fantastic art to start already, but we can just fiddle with the settings as I normally do. I'm like, ooh, that's already looking pretty fantastic there. I just played with the vibrance, and then you have this compare button down here so you can turn it off, on, just kind of see how it has gotten better. A little bit more brighter. You certainly can see the dinosaur's head, and its colors just, well, they're vibrant. Nox, how's it going? Hopefully all is well. Yes, a very fine night indeed. Lovely stuff. You see a little bit, yeah, I like that. The framing. Sometimes it goes pretty quick, other times it takes a while. But yeah, you got a little bit of the spikes of the other dinosaur from underneath off of the image. You got the head kind of framed a little bit. It's not cut off, a little bit below its chin, and then you got the knight itself staring at the logo, and then the glow, which I'm going to add a lens flare when we get there. But we're not there yet. Saturation, I usually increase a little bit just to add a little something. So now you can see already it's like, oof. Not too much saturation, but sometimes it could be a nice effect. That certainly is overkill right there. It takes away from the image and a lot of the elements in the background of it, so it's just fun to see. Or you could make it straight black and white. That could be a pretty nice effect, but just a wee bit. The light, that certainly is interesting. Brightness, I probably don't need to increase the brightness a whole lot on this one just because it has so much natural light going on for it. And we'll see how it goes. Contrast, though, that's where things really come into play. That adds a pretty cool effect, I must say, but you can see how the forest and stuff is kind of disappearing with the increase of the contrast there, so it's probably not the right setting I want to use to highlight stuff. Usually it's black. I just increase the black level or whatever it's called. I don't know for sure. I'm not a professional photo editor. That's for sure. Sometimes I reduce the black. I reduce the white to increase the black, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense usually. The odd time it works. Shadows definitely can help. Or you reduce the shadows to maybe add a little bit more contrast, potentially. I think it's probably the brightness. I'm going to get just right so I can see those trees right in the background. If I go too dark, not so much. If I go too light, of course, it's too bright. I feel like saturation could come down a little bit. Definitely not exposure. I think that's probably about as good as it's going to get. It was kind of washed out a little bit in the back, but I was really trying to make those trees right where the sun is shining through just kind of pop. But there's going to be a lens flare there anyways, so you probably wouldn't have seen them. The details, oh, this is good. This is good. Well, it's Pretty self-explanatory. Usually I just use clarity here. You can, oh, look at that. That's pretty fantastic stuff. Bam, just immediately all the features of the dino just become more clear. They pop in a fantastic way. You don't see it a whole lot, but you know, zoom out a little bit. Of course, always test to see how it looks very small, if it makes sense, that sort of thing. And because it's not always going to be big. You could be watching this on your phone, maybe some of you guys on your TV, as I've heard it mentioned before. But I think that's looking all right. You can see, taking down the clarity, it's kind of just smooth and washed out. But you increase it and just something about it pops in a nice way. Blur, you know, if you have multiple elements, a PNG, layers, of course, that might be nice to kind of get some focus, as if you took this for a picture. Maybe you would have the trees completely behind blurred, and then this dinosaur would just pop, which could be, you know, a potential way to go about it. Well, finish it up quick here though, because I want to get into the games. But I could trace around the dinosaur, cut it out, re-add the image, make everything around the dinosaur blurred, and then this in focus. That would be pretty cool, but it takes a little while. There are some tools that have made it faster recently, but we don't have all nights, that's for sure. You can see how it looks kind of neat. No blur though, definitely no blur. I think that looks good. And now the final thing, after I've done all those tweaks, I just love to see how it started out. Boom. It is pretty good. It's pretty good, but it's kind of muted for sure. You can definitely say that. Boom, there it is. Zoom out to see how the difference looks. Oh, what you started with, dark. It's definitely a lot darker. And the red feathers, I must say, that is really what's jumping out on me. That's quite nice indeed. Sharpen, potentially. Yeah, I think I like that even better. Oh, man. Intense stuff. Okay, I'm going to apply that. I will soon be off to the races. Now, I want my logo just to kind of tuck. Oh, 1 second here. He moved on me. Mono White Devotion Blink. Oh, 100% anything Blink related. Dinosaurs, of course, have some fantastic enter the battlefield effects. Yeah, I can see that. I'm gonna get just enough where some small parts of the logo are going to be behind these horns, spikes on the side here with the other dino, and then behind the knight and the head of the dino that it's riding. Okay, that looks pretty good. Logo might be a little bit too big, but it's going to be a nice effect, I must say. Click off that. Oh no, what is my favorite way to do this? I'll show you. I just copy and paste an exact duplicate after I've done all the tweaking of the levels, just getting it exactly right to how I want. I got a center. Where's the center? Right there? Yeah, okay, it's perfectly centered. Then I bring the duplicate image above where the logo is. Now we're going to have a lot of fun. I go to cutout, draw cutout. It's like the eraser and whatnot. However, I go to keep instead. So whatever I draw over with this keep effect, the keep brush, everything else is deleted. So I know roughly the area that I want the logo to be, or where the logo is, I should say. Reduce the softness because I don't need that. I'm just kind of getting the general area here. Probably need to make it look like it's going a little bit under the knight, just in case I want to tweak the placement of the logo. So we'll do a nice generous area right there. That's looking pretty good. Okay. Actually, I'll do that a little bit differently. Usually I change the opacity so I know kind of what to keep, I don't have to do such a large area. We'll do that. So I can kind of see where the logo is exactly underneath the image, and I'm gonna do this a little bit more accurately. So we know that horn is going to be over top and kind of the body of it coming up here. Yeah, his arm right off to the side. I like that. We'll just come across and get the horns and spikes from the other dino right there. Maybe a little bit at the top. I like that. Good stuff. Then just increase the opacity to the maximum. We see the logo has kind of disappeared as it's covering over, and now while I'm still on the image that I removed most of, I start my trimming of it. Get some coffee. All right, so I just kind of go around. Boom, and the logo is appearing. Comes down to there. Okay, I wanted to see where the black line of the logo is coming across. Kind of just trim right around this horn. I believe that is, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the dino's head. Pretty sure. Then we'll fill in the stuff that was actually covering the logo so we can see it completely. This probably isn't the best way to do things, but of course it does make for a pretty cool effect. Especially if it just has art that normally is 2D and you just make it pop. It's pretty fantastic stuff. Sometimes I go a little bit slower. Usually when I spend some more time on it, I make it look extra good. Add a little bit of a softness just so it isn't super harsh against the image, but it depends how the art is. If the lines where you're tucking something under, maybe they're a little bit blurred, so you kind of want the edge of whatever it is to be blurred and kind of match up with the style. That's looking good. Pretty sure his arm, it's hard to tell where his arm ends exactly. Reduce it to, well, pretty darn small. 13 pixels. Oh my goodness. Intense. Yeah, I'm gonna say his arm's there. I'm pretty sure it is. Glowing. Gotta go a little bit smaller though. To 5 pixels. Wow. Sometimes add a little bit of a softness just because it looks kind of funny when you go this low. Looks a little bit too pixelated. Get in between the feathers though, the headdress of the knight. Oh yes, there is definitely a good devotion deck in, well, any color. Of course, mono green is the big bad one, but there's got to be some fantastic options. I mean, mono green ramping and then Nykthos, of course, that's probably the best thing to do, I must say. Mono green dinosaurs with Nykthos, perhaps. What letter is that? Oh, that's the I. My goodness. I was wondering what I was uncovering here. I don't want to take away too much of the headdress, but I still want the eye to feel like it's naturally behind the knight. It's looking pretty good. We can increase the size now for sure. Take down the softness completely. Do the work a little bit faster here. Almost missed a little bit. Oh, gotta get this. There's the corner. That would have been sad if I had missed the corner of the logo. Why? Anything? Okay, that's looking good. Moving on to the next side here. Pick up the speed a little bit. Although I like the lines to be as crisp as possible. Usually. Almost done. I think it's mostly just this A. Oh, I'm pretty sure the A is gonna... Nah, it's not. Nyx Lotus. I've always wanted to try Nyx Lotus. Come to mention it. I got a copy on Arena. I might have a few copies, but I always thought, you know, with lots of dinos having double green, you know, it could be a pretty good case for Nyx Lotus. At least a copy certainly would ramp quite well, as long as it, you know, was tapping for 3, 4. I'd be quite happy. I think that's pretty good for the A. I'm thinking I probably don't want to cover... This part of the dinosaur right here is actually quite far back, so I'll probably just have it all open like this. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, that's what I was going for originally. Oh, and the lens flare. I almost forgot. My goodness. Gotta get the lens flare. Might have downloaded one. Yeah, I downloaded one a little while ago. I used it for the Wayward Swordtooth, the one featuring the art from Wayward Swordtooth. I forget the name. I have to come up with a lot of names. Sometimes it is hard, I must say. Just because I've done hundreds of these, that doesn't work. Whatever looks the best. Oh, there it is. It has a black background. I want to leave just enough to give the right effect for a lens flare or flames, fire, whatever it is. Added 2 flames on the Tamer Battle Rage one with the art just kind of enhancing it a little bit more, but this is it. However, that flare is not quite in the right space. Definitely need to... Oh, no, not that. This. There we go. Tweak it a little bit. Want to make its focal point the... Oh, right over top. Actually, that kind of looks nice. Just where the light from the art is coming from. Probably could be a little bit bigger, I think, as well. Ooh, that's looking good. I like it. I want to get in between kind of the knight's face. I don't want the one raid to cover it too much, so I'll just kind of search for... Yeah, kind of like that. Timeless Lotus. Oh, I've been wondering about Timeless Lotus as well. However, there's still that edge. Oh, that looks good. Actually, I'm going to tilt it a little bit more. I think I can work with that. I take away the hard edge there just because the image goes right to the corner. It still leaves a little bit right off to the side, so I'm just going to hit it with, well, once I click on it, I'm going to hit it with remove. I'll increase my brush size quite large. Increase the softness a lot. So I'm going to take off this hard edge from the dino. Actually, I'm good. Oof. Oh, I could go next level. I can make it look like the rays, the solar flare is going in between each of the dinosaur spikes. I won't get into that, but if I erase just where the spikes are from where the image is, so it lines up just perfectly. Oh, that would be good. Man, it's tempting not to. Well, maybe I'll do that. Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's it. Oh, fantastic stuff. Yeah, it can just keep getting more and more complex. You just blend different images and different layers together to have a nice effect. I want to get into the games, though. Most nights, it does take time, and I don't know. Either way, I love it. All the aspects. What do I want to call it? Usually I just type some nonsense, something that isn't a file name that I've already used in the past. Ooh, yeah. Oh, that is just the logo. Using the logo to pop the image that was 2D already, making it feel like it's more alive. Certainly this list is going to be pretty alive. However, I have to update the thumbnail on the stream, which we'll do right here. Live. Everything's live. Boom. Change. Oh, the file is bigger than 2 megabytes. This happens sometimes if I make the thumbnail a little bit too complex. When I go to save here and I go to PNG, I can see it's 2.1. Usually it is under 2 megabytes. It's going to have to be JPEG. Going to increase it to quality of 100%, and there, boom. JPEG size 1.5, so it gets under that 2 megabyte file limit. Usually, this is what I do. Then we're off to the races. Type in a bunch more nonsense for a file name, and there you go. There's a smaller one. Okay. We're off to the races. Getting into things. Actually, I got to turn off the screen capture, window capture. Boom. There it is. Excuse me. I ate a little bit too fast. Okay. As always, the list is in the description. Go over it pretty quick, but Night of the Stampede, 3 copies, plus Goreclaw, Terror of Calcisma. That's the changes, the main changes tonight from last night. I was using Commune with Dinosaurs, 4 copies of that, but I was figuring Commune with Dinosaurs could grab a land, kind of gets us ahead a little bit. I had to cut something somewhere. I didn't want to bring in more ramp and trim the big stuff. That didn't make a whole lot of sense. I figured Night of the Stampede could be quite a bit more impactful, and Goreclaw kind of being the 4th night of the Stampede. It could be the 5th night of the Stampede, or you could have, a couple of copies of this and the full playset of Night, but definitely Goreclaw has the potential to be even better than Night of the Stampede. Whenever it attacks, of course, giving each creature with power 4 or greater +1/+1 and trample. Make it extra devastating indeed. So yeah, we'll see. A little bit worried about Commune with Dinosaurs not being in, helping to increase the early game consistency. Of course, having that lovely turn 1 play, but I didn't use Commune with Dinosaurs for quite some time, and things still happened. And I think things will still happen tonight. But yeah, still Brotherhood's End, back to nature, Savage Stomp to interact with the opponent in a painful way. And Kogla and Yadaro. Also, I trimmed 1 copy of this to bring in the Tarask. I was thinking, hey, with all this extra reduction, I think there's going to be a good chance we get to play this thing that normally costs 9, which is pretty crazy. But we get it, we play it fair and square, we cast it, and boom. Haste and hexproof. Effectively, it is hexproof with that Ward 10. I tried it one night a little bit ago, didn't get to cast it. But if I don't get to cast it with this particular variation, I don't know what's going to do. It's going to be rough, but it's going to work. late night night. Let's see. Here we go. Boom. Actually, how long was I going with that thumbnail? Oh, quite some time. Didn't know it would take quite that long, but hey, we got a little bit more of action. A devotion deck with the Terrask, Dr. Gazooks, yeah, I could see how it's going. Good stuff, good stuff. I always want life to be good as it possibly can for anybody. However, this is a little painful. You would expect with 12 things that cost 2, you kind of want to see them in every variation of hands. We're on the draw, so there's a very good chance I'll see Knight of the Stampede or Goreclaw or something for 2 in the first few turns. Keep it. Of course, Shelter Ticket. I don't have a turn 1 play with Commune, so Shelter Ticket it is. Oh, what was I just saying before I kept this? There's so many things for 2 or 3. There's a very good chance to see it, even though I don't have that early play. I've been trying to do that a little bit more, and hey, hopefully they don't discard it with Thoughtseize. I imagine they could counter it, unfortunately. However, we got lots of good stuff coming up. I'm going to take the chance. I could reveal Shifting, and well, if they have a counter spell, they'll know they can't counter this, so they would have to counter Thunderherd. I'm going to reveal Regisaur, and if they have a counter spell, they might want to save it for this and let Thunderherd migration happen. I have a friend who's playing that, and it seems absolutely fantastic. However, Esper, black, blue, and white, Yorion enchantments, that's going to be painful. It could be Doom Foretold. Hopefully that's not the case. However, Back to Nature is in to destroy all enchantments at instant speed. That definitely should bring the pain to them. However, I'm going to counter Regisaur. Well, not so. They could have some black-based removal, black and white-based, that we do lose Shifting, unfortunately. Errant and Giada. What's that? Okay. Esper Legends, potentially. They can cast spells with Flash or Flying from the top of their library. That does seem pretty darn painful. Boseiju, I imagine I'll probably need Boseiju against this deck. Enchantments, artifacts, and stuff, so I could try for Regisaur Alpha. I imagine it's going to be countered. I'm going to try for Huntmaster instead. Set up a little bit. Hopefully they don't do too much to Shifting, though. The Wandering Emperor. I should have wondered about that. It is fantastic, that's for sure. Now just hopefully they spend a little bit of mana next turn, and I might be able to safely go Regisaur Alpha. Of course, there's Carnage Taunt, Tyrannix Rex. Lots of painful things that I can play now. I can go Carnage or T-Rex. I'll have enough lands with Boseiju, even if Huntmaster goes down. If I could get Regisaur Alpha, that would be ideal, though. Oh, another Shifting. Let me think. We got a lot of options here. Shifting for 3 increases the total reduction on Galta by 5. Cost 10 right now. Go to 5. Not quite. I'm going to try for Regisaur Alpha. I'm going to go with Boseiju, just so I can have one red source left after I do this. I still have 3 left over for Shifting Ceratops, which is quite nice. Hey, okay, so no... Oh, okay. That's alright. Because now I get to safely go Shifting Ceratops. It is a little bit sad, and certainly Boseiju would have been nice, but hey, Wandering Emperor is dead. Done for. they can't block because they're part blue. That was lovely stuff. Hopefully Galta happens. Would have been nice if maybe one copy of Galta was a Carnage Tyrant or a T-Rex. They could just sweep us right here, unfortunately. Oh, I thought that might happen. Luckily not. Okay, here goes nothing. If they can do something, they're doing something for the Queen. They're not. Maybe they have settled the wreckage. Another Wandering Emperor, of course. We'll see what happens. It's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, they don't have a whole lot left in hand, and I think we'll connect with shifting. Oh, good, good. Never seen that enchantment before. Oh my goodness. Hey, Pterosaurus, that's all right. It's been good. It's been good. Yeah, Ashiok's Erasure. A lot of people haven't seen it. It's not super common. When it enters the battlefield, they exile a spell. So it's used to deal with things that can't be countered. And I can't cast spells with the same name as the exiled spell. Can be pretty rough. Spell Queller also could be rough. However, Shifting Ceratops still flies right past all the creatures they have. It is some nice aggression though, and this can be problematic. Yeah, it's been pretty good tonight. Yeah, it definitely would have been nice, Dr. Gazooks, going back to your comment there. Getting rid of Ashiok's Erasure, getting back the Regis or Alpha at the end of their turn, and oh, lovely. That is a lot of damage, though. We might just be dead to this. Of course, a little bit unfortunate I haven't seen a Carnage Tyrant or a Tyrannix Rex yet. Ooh, interesting. Just a flash hodgepodge. I would have imagined Vidalian Hexcatcher probably would only go in a Merfolk list. Just an extra way to counter some spells. That's interesting. Well, we're not dead yet. We'll try for another one. I expect she's going to go down. Now, let's see. I'm trying to think what might be best. Shifting would be 5, and they would have to block with 17. That might just be it right there, actually, come to think of it, if they can't do anything to Galta. I imagine they have some... Oh, okay. I thought there was something. It's nuts. That will do it. However, I'm going to absolutely decimate them. I hope. It's back to nature is where it's at, 100%. Yeah, I figured they must have had something, or maybe they just hadn't factored in the fact that I would get them. Tarask, it could be good. Certainly keeping Kogla and Udaro. But again, not seeing Carnage or T-Rex in the top quarter of the deck is a little bit unfortunate. You would expect to see at least one Carnage or one T-Rex when you get down that far, but sometimes you just don't, even with a playset of both. It's been pretty good, Pterosaurus. You missed, you can go back and watch it. I did a little behind the scenes when I started, how I made the thumbnail art that you see, and yeah, it was pretty good. I haven't seen Night of the Stampede too much yet, just because this is the first match of the night so far. However, I do have to trim a little bit more to make room for Back to Nature. Galta, so yeah, I'm just going to trim Galta. There could be a pretty good chance she goes down, counter, removal, whatever it is. Might as well just get rid of it. Back to Nature is going to be the devastating thing, and there's enough impactful creatures around. Imagine. But it is nice. Hey, speaking of Night of the Stampede, again, Thunderherd Migration or Marauding Raptor could lead to Night of the Stampede on turn 3, I hope. Fortunately, they're tapped out, and hopefully they don't have a counter spell, or at least they're a little bit tapped out next turn, and I get to land Night of the Stampede. Possibly Dr. Gazooks. I think that would be pretty good. A nice suggestion. However, they played that Godless Shrine tap. They probably don't have a whole lot of stuff that can do stuff to our stuff. They got to do something tonight, but they also got to think about Regisaur Alpha, so there it is. We still get Regisaur next turn with all the lands. Oh, and Boseiju to get the night back. I'll hold off just in case. Get the aggression going. Of course, there could be an even better target. They use another Leyline Binding on Regisaur Alpha, and I probably want to take out the second Leyline Binding. We'll see. Oh, but Goreclaw, my oh my. That's exciting stuff right there. I'll try for it. See what happens. See what it draws out. Ashiok's Erasure, potentially. I only have one copy of this, so it's not a total loss. I'll probably play this second Stomping Ground untapped, just so I can do some good stuff with the Boseiju. It might just sweep us here. Of course, Huntmaster wasn't going to advance much of anything, so might as well just hold it back and hope nothing too bad happens. Yeah, that would be pretty cool to get a dinosaur suit like the Timmy avatar. Oh, got him. Okay. It certainly felt pretty good. We had a lot of things going. It seemed like maybe they didn't have a whole lot of answers in their hand. However, it is nice. Took them down without revealing the painful back to nature. That is good. We have the element of surprise in game 3. I like it. Oh, I don't know why I pressed the Thinking Dino. That's an instant keep for sure. 2 lands, Thunderherd Migrate. Oh, there we go. So we get to Thunderherd, or we get to Night of the Stampede on, Karplusan as well. My, oh my. I know they probably don't have a counter spell for 2 at least. That Hallowed Fountain entered tapped. This is good. Well, they have something for something. Unfortunately, there's no Castle Garenbig. If Boseiju was Castle Garenbig, that would definitely have been lovely. I would have gotten to 6 green on the following turn, but we'll try for Night of the Stampede, see what it draws out. I'm sure it's going to draw out a Spell Queller. Huh. That's okay by me. Oh, Tyrannix Rex as well. I'm going to try for another night. I'll probably play Boseiju this turn. I just want to potentially be at 6 next turn. If I draw the 6th land, I wouldn't want to still have Boseiju in my hand and not be able to play Carnage Tyrant, because I'm holding it back all the time. It's got to be going down to something. Oh, interesting. Well, they have to take out Night of the Stampede, or they know Carnage Tyrant is about to drop. Odd. Ashiok's Erasure? That definitely could be a thing. Now the question becomes, Tyrannix? You know what? I'll just go with Carnage Tyrant. There it is. Hopefully they don't have another one, but we do get to take it out. That is alright by me. Deal a wee bit of damage. Oh, so we dropped the Hex Catcher. That is actually very good. I think they would have taken the 2 if they knew the potential of what was about to happen. Hey, that's okay too. Hopefully they play some more enchantments at some point. Card of each type. Oh, Dr. Gazooks, that's hard to say. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I'll write it down. That would make a nice video too, I think. Yeah, that works out. Probably now Tyrannix Rex maybe edges out Carnage Tyrant as my favorite creature, just because it does have haste, lovely 8/8 instead of the 7/6 from Carney T, and is getting a little bit problematic at this point. Kind of thinking Regis or Alpha. No. Gonna pay the life, try to get Carnage Tyrant down, and hope they don't have another Ashiok, but phew, okay, they don't. I at least hopefully stop the aggression from the Samurai there. Ogla and Yadaro would be pretty good, maybe fighting the Spell Queller and getting the Knight of the Stampede back and taking out something with flying. We don't have too many more turns here though. Shifting Ceratops might just be the thing that saves us. Cross your fingers. Oh boy, here goes nothing. Oh? Although Wandering Emperor is going to give first strike to Spell Queller when they put another counter on it. However, it doesn't deal any damage, so it doesn't really matter. Hopefully, I get a nice surprise with this. Boom. There it is. Love it. I hope. Oh, what's happening? Oh, what just happened there? Oh my goodness. A little bit too late for the fatal push. Oh man, the sneaky reaches. That is where it's at. Voracious Gearhulk. That's not too problematic. We get to play more stuff. Probably Huntmaster for 2. Regis or Al. Oh. Yeah, I think I just want a bunch of bodies. 2 Carnage Tyrants actually might be pretty darn fantastic though, come to think of it. That's probably the most stable thing. Sit back, relax. Oh, it's pretty cool stuff. Flash, a giant flashing shark. What is not to love about that? Countering things as well with a pretty sweet body. That is a little bit problematic though. A 6/5 first strike does take out one of the Carnage Tyrants. Interesting. If they would have attacked with both, I would have had to use Carnage Tyrant to block each. But now I get to take out the Voracious Gearhulk because I get to double block. And I still get to be left with 1. Yeah, I'm at 3. That Samurai was threatening me being at 3 life. This is much better. Oh, 100%. That's what I figured. 1 Carnage blocks the Samurai, the other Carnage has to block the Great Shark, I lose one Carnage Tyrant. They still have the Great Shark because it had first strike, and then... Phew, okay, let me think here. No enchantments. Regis or Alpha, oh yeah. Well, Sheltered Thicket, what am I thinking? I want to get the land down. You know what, I'll just go with Regis or Alpha. I don't want to take a point of damage going down to 2, just in case. Tyrannix Rex will have haste next turn anyways. I am at 7. Now the question becomes, I'm going to start hitting him with Carnage Tyrant. Wandering Emperor can't exile Carnage, so that's not a problem there. Then next turn, maybe get him. I hope. Cross my fingers they don't have removal for Regis or the token, because then we definitely... Oh, they just... Okay. Now, just use the token. That makes most sense. As first strike, so it would take out Regisaur, but the token being 3 power wouldn't take it out being 4 toughness. Okay. A good old T-Rex off to the races. Does that do it right there? It depends what they have in hand. Let me think. Do they have something? Perhaps. Maybe. It feels like they might. It's not super meta. I've played against Flash before, though. Oh boy. Actually, no, they got us. They're going to do T-Rex, unfortunately. They're going to do the -2. Nuts. Well, you can't win them all. Yeah, I should have just held back Carnage Tyrant and played the second Tyrannix Rex. Oh, okay. Phew. Oh. We got lucky there. They had us. They absolutely had us. No. I guess they were untapped. What am I thinking? I was thinking they were going to -2, but yeah, I didn't attack with T-Rex. Oh my goodness, that was down to the wire. Just keep attacking with Carnage Tyrant. It's tapped, but it has hexproof, so I never have to worry about the Wandering Emperor. If I had attacked with T-Rex, well, I could double block to be almost dead. Hard to say. Yes, oh my goodness, that is the way to start the night. Down to 3, backs against the wall. And then you just start chipping away with some of the best creatures around. Boom. Get the job done. Yeah, oh, wow. It's always nice when it starts off fantastic. Hopefully that's a trend to continue. Beautiful. Okay. That was an uphill battle. That was a slog, for sure. I earned that one, definitely, I must say. Nala. Ugh. Can make it work, you know. 2 lands, there is no source of red, but Thunderherd Migration could grab the mountain to start doing the smaller stuff in the middle here. Pretty reasonable. Yeah. Oh, there's our first showing of the Terrask. Good stuff. Reveal Marauding Raptor, nothing too fancy. Definitely grab that Lonely Mountain and hopefully get a second source of red next turn. Oh, well, technically it is a second source red. course, it would have been nice to go Huntmaster plus Marauding against what some sort of Abzan, Yorion, blinking shenanigans. We'll have to see. But I imagine they've got some enchantments as well, similar to the previous opponent I faced. Baffling Ambrose, okay. From Rivals of Ixalan. I'm familiar with this. Yeah. Exile a creature an opponent controls with mana value 3 or less. When Baffling End leaves the battlefield, I get to create a 3/3 dinosaur token. However, I'm just going to go Knight of the Stampede. Hope for the best there. Marauding plus shifting next turn. Cross my fingers it's sticking around. Deputy of Detention. So it says just an annoying Bant something or other. I'm going to go with both Maraudings, even though, of course, I would lock myself out. Shifting Ceratops dies to both pings. Regisaur and the token died to both pings. But I expect they'll do something to one of the Maraudings, and then I will only have one when it comes back around to my turn. 5-color hodgepodge at this point. I've got red, blue, white, green, and black. Your guess is as good as mine, because I don't usually see Deputy of Detention or Baffling End. 5-color fires, Enigmatic Incarnation. Huh. 5-color good stuff. Maybe. Oh no, this is Fires of Invention. It's gotta be. That's pretty good though. Again, I am surprised that both Maraudings are living. However, I can pump them up to stupid levels. Regisaur Alpha plus. Nah. I'm gonna see what happens when I attack with both. I imagine they might get through. The opponent's gonna expect some shenanigans. Okay, that's all right. We'll hold off then. Hopefully things don't get too bad. Possibly could have just played this third Marauding to get both of those up to at least 4 power. That might have been nice. Take out one. Cross my fingers. It's very rare that, I'm seeing 3 with the potential to play a third one and 2 already out. That's a nice change of pace, I must say. Omnath's not so nice though. Certainly back to nature. Oh, there it is, the Enigmatic Incarnation. Sacrificing Baffling End, maybe. Moment of the Sea. No, that makes sense. Getting something for 3. Maybe another Deputy of Detention to take both Marauding Raptors. Yeah. Hopefully it's just dealing with one. Taking them a while. Searching for Fires of Invention with the Moonblessed Cleric. Putting it on top. Getting ready for next turn. So yeah, back to nature. Oh, another Enigmatic Incarnation. Well, that is interesting. However, Carnage Taunt, that's quite nice. I imagine they're going to grab Elesh Norn next turn after they sacrifice this Enigmatic Incarnation. One of them is going to use its ability to sacrifice the other, grab Elesh Norn, and double the enter the battlefield effects of all their permanents. Yes. Good night, Nox. Hopefully you get some good sleep. Better than me, perhaps, but yeah. See you next time. Hopefully it's lights out on this opponent. Thalia and the Gitrog monster. It's not going to be fun. Death Touch and First Strike is a very nasty combination. Taking out Carnage Taunt if Thalia and the Gitrog monster ever block, or if we block them. It'd be nice to see the Terrask this game, but I don't think it's going to happen just because, well, they are getting ahead of things, that's for sure. Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that. Anything we can do? Maybe. Probably not. We're not busting through Thalia anytime soon. Zur Eternal Schemer is going to turn Enigmatic Incarnation into a creature. Enchantment creatures they control have Death Touch, Lifelink, and Hexproof. So it would trade with anything, they gain a bunch of life. I can't target it. Unless I target Zur. Let's pack it in. No, that's a little bit too problematic at that point. Got away from me too much, I think. And I know Back to Nature is going to do the trick. I might mulligan pretty heavily for this. Terrask, probably don't need that. Galta could be nice. Definitely. But again, gotta make space for that Back to Nature. One Night of the Stampede. Okay. Oh, no nights. Alright. Yeah, I like the looks of that. Oh, the Terrask usually wins. I don't think you can actually kill the Terrask with its lore. You just kind of make it faint or make it go to sleep, and then it digs underground, I believe, and slumbers for 100 years or something. A really long time. And then it reawakens and causes havoc once again. Pretty sure it's immortal. Mostly immortal. Probably take a lot of luck. Maybe the Terrask has some critical misses. You know, the DM just rolls 1, 1, 1. But sometimes, even with a legendary creature like that, they still do some damage. And being the Terrask, of course, that's probably enough to still one hit in a lot of cases. But this hand, I mean, it is stunning. Of course, Shelter Thicket, Part Forest, helping Castle Garenbrig enter the battlefield untapped, and I have a Back to Nature. Oh, and a third land. My goodness. This is just lovely stuff right here. This is probably about our best chance we have against Enigmatic Incarnation enchantments. We didn't see Fires of Invention, but that definitely could be a good possibility. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. I'm going to take that 2 life. I'm going to set up a little bit with Huntmaster and Marauding Raptor, hoping they don't do too much painful stuff to either, but figuring at least one of these things will be left. Maybe a Hasty Carnage turn next turn, Tyrannix Rex, of course, with the cost reduction. Oh, they haven't done anything. They're feeling pretty good about themselves. Oh my goodness. This is lovely. Yeah, I'm just going for it. Regis Ralpha for 3, Shifting Ceratops for 2. Look at the level of this damage right here. Oh man, that is beautiful. Maximum aggression. Exactly lethal. Math is for blockers. I didn't actually know that was lethal. Huh. Pretty good. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay. That does sound pretty cool. It's just kind of like it's a side quest, but it's sort of the main quest as you progress and do actual side quests and get, you know, items and whatnot, gems and loot, whatever it is. You know you're working towards this final goal, so yeah, that could be a pretty nice aspect. Some games, they don't have a whole lot of direction. It might not be for everyone. Maybe you like direction in a game or you want it to be sort of freeform, but it does give players focus for sure and just keeps things moving a little bit easier. Although I tapped my keyboard, I want to make sure everything's going good. I thought it might have stopped the recording. But yeah, Pterosaurus, that is, I mean, Dead. Right there. Look. Marauding 8 and Regisaur 12. Plus token and shifting. Exactly lethal. In one hit. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. I just want to admire that because I'm happy I didn't have to use Back to Nature. They thought they were safe. Everything's going good. And boom. Dead. That doesn't happen often, I must say. Usually they interrupt the early plays, that's for sure. I'm just happy some of you guys caught it once again. Kind of like that top decking Tyrannix Rex last night to finish off the final opponent. Demir Control, that was good. I think that topped it though. But yes, definitely, this is the keeper. Again, fortunately seeing Back to Nature. 2 lands, Marauding, yes. A little bit iffy, ramp-wise. I know, Dr. Gazooks, I was figuring some of you guys might have missed it because it was just like... boom. Snap your fingers and what happened. But that kind of thing can happen. Usually I don't get to stack Otepec Huntmaster and Marauding Raptor. I expected they'd probably do something to one of them, and what can you do? However, Thunderherd Migration. Maybe they have a counter spell, although I feel with enchantments, it's probably going to be enchantment-based answers. So they're not going to do anything to Marauding. Or to Thunderherd, I should say. They don't have actual counter spells. Yeah, that was a pretty cool game. I think we got a good chance. Definitely, if we draw another land coming up here, possibly could have grabbed a mountain for Kogla and Yadaro, but that's a little ways off. And I might want super duper maximum green sources first. Oh my, we got stuff. Beautiful. I'm just gonna try for Goreclaw. Let's go for it. That might do the trick. Okay, oh boy, they don't have Leyline Binding. Actually, I think Leyline Binding currently costs 3. They have to... No. If they had it, it would have cost 2 there. With the Triumph, they got a Forest, Swamp, Plains, and... Oh, there it is. Speaking of... However, Back to Nature is going to absolutely devastate them. Oh, and we got a Stomping Ground. Well, I'm just going to pay the 2 life. I'm going to get Carnage Tyrant, and I'm going to draw out a Sweeper. Basically. Wandering Emperor does nothing. They have to have a Sweeper. Next turn, Back to Nature for 2. Get back Goreclaw. Possibly Enigmatic Incarnation if they play it this turn, which... Oh, okay. So we stare down with Thalia and the Gitrog monster. Let me think. I definitely like Back to Nature, but it could just be Kogla and Yadaro. Cycle it. Get back Goreclaw to... Use Goreclaw to attack and make everything big and nasty. Marauding Raptor to do a little bit of setup, possibly. You know what? I'm going to go with Marauding. Back to Nature next turn. Get back. Oh, man, that is going to be nasty. Oh, they've got a Leyline Binding. Well. I think they're setting up for Enigmatic Incarnation. If that's the case, it's going to be very good. I hope that's the case. Oh, look what it is, folks. Yeah, I wish they had animations for creatures, I must say. Well, they're not attacking, they're leaving Thalia back. Oh, not today, not today. Boom. Bingo bango. That was pretty darn sweet. Coglan Yadaro to fight Thalia. Just get her gone, and then I get to nicely attack in with everything. This is fantastic. Boom. Oh, look at that. Roasted. Done. Oh boy, you said it, Dr. Gazooks. And this music lining up quite good. On fire tonight. Tonight is the night of the night. Yes, yeah, boom indeed. They're like, oh, I'm just going to hold back Thalia. They're never attacking with Carnage Time. Never, never, never. And this, of course, it's very expensive to, you know, I paid 5 to get rid of Thalia, but it doesn't really matter. She's dead. A backup, this is a 7/7 Trample Haste, where you discard it and you put it back into your library, and you draw a card, and you take out an artifact or enchantment. Worst case scenario is pretty fantastic when it is a body like this. Or you just clear the way, as you saw. Okay. Lots of controlling matchups. Certainly it is making things take a little bit longer. Actually, I should check how long it is. My son's a little bit stuffed up, so he's not sleeping too well. Oh yeah, we got a little bit more time here, I think. Yeah. At least another, maybe a match or two. One at least, you know, maybe 3 or 4. Hopefully this one's a little bit faster, although some of those games, I mean, from 20 to dead in a single turn with one swing. Ooh. That's definitely still the highlight. Which reminds me, I want to make a highlight reel. And link to the specific stream or, you know, the game or match when it happened, just in case you guys want to relive the fantastic setup. Yeah. Lots of stuff I want to do. Never enough time, so I'll just keep doing good things. Just keep at it. What do we got? Atarka Red. Lots of little creatures. Lots of painful things. I'm going to go with Marauding. Just in case they got hasty stuff, maybe Marauding deters some of their early aggression. At the very least, Thunderherd plus the second Marauding next turn. Carnage Tyrant the turn after that. That's okay. Burning Tree, Burning Tree, Burning Tree. We're going to have to watch out. This could be Ancient Imperiosaur, Gleeful Demolition, that sort of thing. It might get away from us, unfortunately. At the very least, I do have 2 blockers, so that might be nice. Oh, anything with dungeon delving, anything with an increased potential to just get some cool items. +1 armor, +2 armor. I always liked increasing my AC in Dungeons and Dragons as high as possible. Got it up to 26, 24, 26. That's pretty hard to hit. That's certainly tank level. Yeah. Hopefully we're not dead, but you know, that might happen. Yeah, anything with dungeon delving. I still like the political role-playing, speaking to NPCs in towns, and it's probably Atarka's command, I must say. +1/+1 to everything. Burning Tree Emissary we would not take out. Would take out the Rimrock Knight and Etching of Command. Oh, not Etching of Kumano. I'll try one. We'll see what happens. I'd be happy to have one Marauding go down. just so I can go safely Regis or Alpha next turn. Yeah. And I always like starting off in campaigns at the very first level, building up my character just to... Oh, okay. Interesting. Huh. Well, we're not dead yet, although I'm definitely going Regis or Alpha just to have 2 bodies instead of Carnage Tyrants 1. Of course, this is aggro, so this could be a devastating way to deter their aggression. Hopefully it's not another Colossus, though. I've used that in the past. I've done streams where it featured that. It's going to be something nasty here. Gotta be. Actually, if it is another Colossus, I want to make sure I can take out the most stuff possible. Could be an Ember Cleave. We're not dead yet. There's the Atarka's command. Okay, okay. Well, I just have to hope they don't have another one, but I expect that's probably the case, unfortunately. Play with fire. Lots of things would just, yes, play with fire. Got us. Nuts. Yes. Ripjaw Raptor certainly would be fantastic. Would have been fantastic. So it's coming in. And Savage Stomp. And Brotherhood's End. Oh boy, this is going to get devastating for them. I'm going to trim Huntmaster because it dies to Brotherhood's End. It dies to play with fire and lots of their stuff. Galta, yeah, I'll trim some things. That's for sure. T-Rex, yeah. Ripjaw Raptor is going to be very, very nasty indeed. Night of the Stampede, one copy of that. I definitely like the potential of Goreclaw, maybe just to punch through whatever the opponent is doing, giving all the big stuff trample. That'd be nice. Yeah, I like that. Trim a bunch off the top, bring in Ripjaw Raptor just to hopefully have a bunch more bodies earlier. Vampire the Masquerade, I have heard of that. I've never played it myself, but... This hand, though, not so great. That one's much better. Getting to Shifting Ceratops on turn 3. That's going to be our best bet. And it's nice seeing Castle Garenberg. Even though there's no T-Rex or whatever, I do have 2 sources of red with Karplusan Forest. Hopefully seeing Brotherhood's End or Ripjaw or something. Getting to Shifting Ceratops next turn, Regis or Alpha the turn after that. I think we'll be in a pretty good position. I saw an old rulebook for Vampire the Masquerade years ago. That's a great thing if you have those old rulebooks. Doesn't matter if maybe the company that made the game has gone out of business, you can still have a fantastic time because it's a physical copy of a thing. I just hope they don't have Obliterating Bolt dealing 4 damage to straight up take out Shifting. As long as I get to Regisaur and maybe they haven't attacked with Monastery Swiftspear this turn. Oh, 3. Atarka's command coming up. I bet. I'm going to block one of the cheap ones if they do have Atarka's command. Do it. Maybe it is. Okay, well, another Colossus. We still take it out. Trade with a very big and scary Monastery Swiftspear and just not exactly seeing the bodies I would hope for. Although Regisaur being 2 is hopefully going to be pretty lovely. Oh, that is pretty good. Darkest Command. Ooh. Should have blocked the other Monastery Swiss Spear. Although I would have just been dead, sadly. Okay. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. Couldn't have done anything differently. I didn't see Savage Stomp, Ripjaw Raptor, Brotherhood's End. Yeah. Sometimes you bring in a lot of stuff to do something against the deck, and you don't want to keep mulliganing forever. Although possibly I could have done maybe one more mulligan to maybe see that Brotherhoods. Yeah. That is pretty cool. An online store. Anything that preserves old RPGs, or it's kind of like an RPG library, I would imagine. That's pretty neat. Kind of similar to that first hand there. 2 lands, a cheap thing, and then lots of big scary things. I have a good feeling about that though. Send Galta to the bottom. She's the most expensive, while sometimes pretty cheap for 2, but... Okay, there we go. We're getting there. See a 4th land. Able to play Regis or Alpha if Huntmaster is surviving. However, this does appear to be mono-black zombies. I imagine they have removal for stuff. We'll go with the stable ramp of Thunderherd Migration, and that's going to feel nice. They probably have some number of removal, maybe in the sideboard. Being mono-black zombies, they've gone full into that. Ouch. Well, hopefully we see Brotherhood's End next game. A little bit more than the previous one, because Brotherhood's End is going to be quite nasty against mono-black zombies. Lots of cheap, fairly weak things. Although Champion of the Perished is going to get pretty big here. Oh man, that would have been an ideal Brotherhood's End. 1990. Whew. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen a lot with Cyberpunk, I must say. I read a lot about the game, the recent one, 2077, I think it is. Pretty sure. You know what? Ogla and Udara. We'll play that. We'll fight Lord of the Accursed. And then it's still sticking around, and boom. That could be good. Just sit back, relax with a nice 7/7. Your first deck, Pterosaurus, huh? Okay. Ugh, not okay. Well, this might just be dead. I must say, I definitely do the thing against control decks, enchantments or regular control. Aggro. Of course, it would be nice to start off with Brotherhood's End, but you can't always have everything all the time. Really want to preserve Huntmaster. Could make something happen? Probably not with the Mutavaults. No. Not happening. But it will happen with this. And Savage Stomp. And Ripjaw Raptor. I think we're going to get a little bit more fortunate than the previous Atarka Red opponent. Maybe the Stampede. Trim a little bit somewhere. Certainly I think Ripjaw could be nice and impactful, and it's a cheaper creature. It's not like I still have all the big costly things that I would want this cost reduction for. I've got another playset of something for 4, so I should be able to pretty easily play it. Galta? Yeah, I'll trim Galta. Something else, though. Tarask. T-Rex. One Huntmaster. Okie dokie. I mean, we got 3 Kogla and Yadaros, 4 Savage Stomps, 4 Brotherhood's End. That's a lot of interaction. I would expect to... Well, I would expect to see it. I would also expect to see more lands, unfortunately. Ugh. 1 more mulligan, at least. Still not good enough. Oh, there we go. We got something online. Savage Stomp definitely is staying in. 1 Marauding. Marauding and shifting. If I draw a 3rd land, I could go Thunderherd for 2 and Savage Stomp for 1 on turn 3. Oh, that is pretty nice. Although, get that Marauding Raptor down, increase the potential of Savage Stomp to take out somebody nasty. Or just hope they don't have the removal they may have brought in. Oh, they do. I should have expected that. Yeah, that's alright. Thunderherd Migration. We still we'll get there eventually. Play it safe and get another source of green. I have at least 1. Might just have to Pseudo Psycho, Kogla and Yadaro, get another land, and hope we get Castle Garenbrig to get Carnage turned. Okay, well, there it is. I like it. Yeah, if we get Castle Garenbrig and Carnage turn next turn, that's going to feel pretty good. Oof. 2 Lord of the Accursed is not good. Both are out of range of Brotherhood's End. If I was able to play it, of course, but I cannot. I did get a Ripjaw. That's pretty good. If they don't have removal for it, it might deter lots of their aggression. I hope. Ugh, Death Touch. Not a fun time. They'll definitely attack with everything. Oh, they're not a... What is... That didn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay. Well, yeah, I'll just get rid of the Death Baron. I hope. Yeah. Maybe they have Fatal Push. I could see that happening. Maybe I draw another Savage Stomp, and then I can take out the Lord of the Accursed, although it would take out Ripjaw at that point. Oof, there we go. Land is where it's at. I'll go with Crag Crown Pathway. Just sit back with Ripjaw. Buying a little bit of time here. Well, that pretty much does it. Yeah, with Mutavault there, that's got to do it. Yeah, well, sometimes you just lose, huh? A valiant effort. Where's that Brotherhood's End? All right. Next one. And maybe I could just start off with Ripjaw Raptor. That's also something I've been thinking about. There is a lot of big, scary dinos at the top. But I could see maybe switching Tyrannix Rex, move it to the sideboard, start off with Ripjaw just to have, something quite a bit cheaper and give maybe a better chance against aggro in game 1. Yeah, it happens. Kind of similar to the first hand, although it's 3 lands and Knight of the Stampede, which hopefully helps power out Carnage turn. Gotta send somebody to the bottom though. But definitely Castle Garenbrig again, no actual forest that we see here. Yeah, we're not playing anything, and they can't kill anything with the Fatal Push they may have in hand. Oh, we got the 4th land. That's where it's at. They're thinking we're going to do something, and maybe we're not playing it because we're scared of their removal. That's not the case. At the very least. Oh, let me think. Well, I don't need 2 sources of red. I at least still have it with Carplucent. However, I'm going to try for Knight of the Stampede. Hope they don't have Fatal Push or removal for it. But if Knight of the Stampede survives, that would be the best thing to survive. However, I really wish they would have stayed flooded. It would have been nice to take out Fable and have them, keep both those lands in hand. Knight of the Stampede's got to be going down. Pretty sure. Yeah. Lots of stuff that takes out lots of stuff. Hopefully shifting and marauding next turn. I might go Carnage turn, but of course I am worried about Shieldred's Edict, a second one, making us sacrifice Carney T. Just get a bunch of bodies and possibly I don't have to sacrifice this. Thunderherd and Marauding, I like that. Get us to potentially Carnage turn next turn. Or possibly Tyrannix Rex. Hope that Marauding's sticking around. Shifting Ceratops would also be pretty good. But again, Brotherhood's End would be quite devastating. It takes out Bone Crusher Giants and lots of stuff. We're not quite dead yet. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking maybe I just don't need Knight of the Stampede. Perhaps there's enough ramp and reduction without this. Hard to say. I'll definitely keep trying it out. At least a little bit. However, with Shieldred, not happening. It would just be Carnage turned and, well, we'd be dead to card draw as we draw stuff. Certainly Brotherhood's End. Ripjaw Raptor, maybe fighting Shieldred. We'd lose 2 life, but she'd be gone and we'd draw some cards. It could be good. Trim Goreclaw does die to Brotherhood's End, being 3 toughness, which kind of is nice about Knight of the Stampede having 4. We don't have to worry about losing our reduction. However, I think I'm just going to Trim Huntmaster. It dies pretty easily to a lot of stuff. Play with Fire if they have it, the Stomp from the Bone Crusher Giant, the Brotherhood's End. So it's kind of nice. We still have that reduction if it makes sense to trim something that is certainly pretty fragile. Yeah. Tarask? Yeah. Trim the Tarask. Unfortunately. Another Savage Stomp. All the Savage Stomps. What am I thinking? No. Just 2. Okay. Here's to hoping there's a Thunderherd or Marauding powering out Shifting, Regis or Alpha. Nope, that's a keep instantly. 2 Brotherhood's End and a Thunderherd Migration. Cross my fingers they don't go with Thoughtseize turn 1 to rip it from our hand. Nuts. I jinxed myself. That's unfortunate. It's got to be Thunderherd Migration, 100%. Definitely. Maybe not. That would be a nice surprise. Okay. Well, we can't go Thunderherd. At least we do have a second source of red with Stomping Ground, though. Hey, all good. Of course, I imagine maybe some of you guys have passed out already. If you're watching back in the morning, hello. Hopefully you got some good sleep. Sword lessons tomorrow. That sounds pretty cool. I like swords. I like all that kind of stuff. I'm going to say Boseiju. I'll take the ping. Get the ramp. Boseiju could come in pretty handy. Maybe just taking out Fable of the Mirror Breaker, of course. Yeah, going back to that comment, I played with knight armor, the swords, morning stars, all that kind of stuff. I destroyed a really old TV with a morning star. That was pretty fun. The chainmail, the whole 9 yards. Lovely stuff. Lived across from a blacksmith. However, I bet they're going to make me sacrifice something. I could go T-Rex. I have to go T-Rex at some point. Let's cross the fingers and hope they don't have Shieldred's Edict, but I think they do. They must. They gotta. They don't. They don't have Shieldred's Edict. Oh my goodness. That is nice. They might have Liliana of the Veil making a sacrifice for Annex here. Okay. Okay. That's... Well, it's kind of rough. I mean, I would have expected to see some more bodies at some point. Carnage, Regis or Alpha, something like that. But they did see the Brotherhood's End, so that's probably why they are holding off on playing their creatures. Misery Shadow can survive Brotherhood's End, though. Got to keep that in mind. They could get it to 4 toughness. Just got to go with it. They'll sink the 2 mana into it to save it, and hopefully we get a body soon. At least I don't have to worry about the Blood Tithe Harvester. However, they always have to leave at least 2 mana back to save the Misery Shadow due to the Brotherhood's End I still have. They'll sink probably 5 into it. Yeah. Playing it safe. Oh my. Well, sometimes you see the thing a lot more than you would hope to see the thing. And we just gotta go with it. They're not going to expect a 3rd Brotherhood's End. We got to draw things out at some point here. No, I guess we would just be straight up dead next turn. 6, 7, yeah. Misery Shadow is going to get to exactly 9. Unfortunately, nothing we could have done about that. That's got to be it. Yeah, that's all right. Certainly started off strong. You saw some fantastic plays, I must say. At least one more match. One more match. We can squeeze in one more. Hopefully it's a pretty fast one. Hopefully it's fast in our favor, of course. That would be ideal. You can't face control all the time, though. That'd be a nice change. Azorius control, then Dimir, back to Azorius. Enchantments, decimating them with Back to Nature, and... yeah. Although I do have tools against aggro decks, just didn't really see them early or often enough. And Rakdos, of course, is sometimes just too painful. Yep, love it. 2 lands, 2 Thunderherd migrations, if it is something nasty. Oh, and it seems to be something nasty, so, I mean, hey, no fatal push for you. Now, I will get the second mountain just in case I feel like going Huntmaster plus Marauding next turn. If they're tapped out, I might do that. mono black waste not? I imagine it's mainly discarding stuff. Whenever an opponent discards a creature, create a 2/2 zombie. Whenever an opponent discards a land, they add 2 black, and whenever we discard a non-creature, non-land, they draw a card. It is painful stuff, but again, things that are on the battlefield might stick around, and that might be beneficial. If both of those are there, could be Regis or Alpha next turn for some nasty aggression. But I just hope at least one of those lives. Next turn maybe drawing. Oh, they're setting up for the discard stuff. Thoughtseize coming up. Fatal Push, okay. No, this is kind of rough and bumpy. I'll pretend like I don't have another dinosaur in hand, so they don't have a whole lot to worry about. Start chipping away with Marauding, although... Oof, go blank. They're making 4 creatures here, which is just absolutely nasty. That's no fun. They definitely got fortunate seeing 2 waste knots, and there were 10 cards in. Gotta do something at some point, though. I'll hold off, just in case I get the 6th land next turn, allowing me to go with Tyrannix Rex, because Marauding Raptor is still sticking around. I guess never mind. I should have attacked with Marauding, figuring I would have had to discard some stuff. That'd be Shelter Thicket. I almost cycled it, but you discard. Yeah, you know what? Let's try and pressure Liliana. We'll take out 2 zombies here. I kind of like that. Got enough lands, can play enough stuff. Their waste knots are a waste at this point because we don't have anything left. That's good. They take out some things. We can stop a zombie if they want to attack with everything. Oh, we don't need more lands. My goodness. Hopefully it's a faster hand next game. Definitely Brotherhood's End could be good, but for the most part they might not have any creatures if we barf our hand, and Waste Not is not doing a whole lot. No more lands. Again, 22, and you're going to get flooded at some point. I'll just keep going till the next turn, see what I draw, and that's definitely over. I'm just curious. Oh yeah, that's not saving us. Nuts.
Oh man, tough stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to try that. I was a little bit unsure. Ripjaw Raptor against Mono Black Waste Not discard. Maybe it could be rough, but maybe Ripjaw hasn't been pinged. I haven't drawn a card later on. I draw a card, but I play the thing I draw with Ripjaw, so I still keep my hand empty, and it's just a cheaper body. However, not quite as fast as I would like. Not a super high potential to dump my hand. That's a little bit better, I think. A third land getting us to Night of the Stampede would be pretty sweet. Yeah. That'd be nice. Especially because I only need one source of green for Night of the Stampede. Oh, well, technically it is another land, of course. We will get there. Not quite as fast as I would like, but hey. Maybe they keep setting up with another waste knot. That would be unlucky. Ugh. Well, that's no fun. You know what? Ripjaw and Shifting Ceratops. Night of the Stampede, hopefully helping to get Carnage Tyrant down. Oh boy. Yes, please. Although it probably could have been just Carnage Tyrant, because, well, I imagine I'm going to be discarding it here. Oh, they got it. Darn, that is not right. And sometimes there's nothing you can do. Rages for Alpha, though, that certainly is quite fantastic. My goodness. That's where it's at. Gonna hold off with that token just in case. Oh, somebody's awake. Definitely this thing. You're all right. Yeah, just get Marauding Raptor gone so I can safely play Huntmaster. Oh, that is not going to be a fun time, though. Almost had Tyrannix. I don't think I'm busting through this, even though I'm down to 13. We'll wait and see. Could be a very slim chance. Possibly they don't make me discard Tyrannix coming up, but I would imagine that's going to happen. If it happens, I think it's definitely over at that point. Probably all but guaranteed. Interesting. I guess that does make sense. See if we draw Castle Gernbeck. Could have gotten T-Rex down. So that is not going to do it. Kind of hard to operate the mouse with the opposite hand here, holding my daughter with the other one. Alright, that was fantastic. Hopefully you guys had a pretty good time. I certainly did. As always, click the smiley face because life is good. Win or lose, you're living it. So have a good night, good morning, evening, afternoon, whenever it is, wherever it is you are watching. Have a good rest of your time zone, and yeah, get her done. Have some fun. Peace. Want to say bye-bye? No? It's okay. We'll get you back to bed.